Radio is set.
Switch that back over to 22.9.
Again?
Switch that back over to 22.9. There you go.
22.9. Right about there for now. Go to 1/4 lean. And we're ready. Ooh. Brake check. And they appear to be working. They're like, what is that monstrosity and why is it running over my corn? Yeah, I used to feed the muleys that would come through in our place up there in Colorado. We lived up in a big, they played the senior masters tour up there, so there's a big golf course and everything else. And, but the mule deer would come in there in herds of 60 and 70 bachelor herds of bucks. Wow. It was insane. Wow. And, so I just got in the habit of, you know, I'd carry some corn out and put some corn, I'd throw corn out in the backyard, but if they came up in the front yard, I'd cut up apples and get them to come up in the front yard, and so the kids could look at them and everything. Yeah.
Really would love to see your feet down here like mine.
Oh yeah.
Because what's going to happen is you're going to drag those brakes on takeoff, and we're both going to wish you didn't. It's not that you're doing it on purpose or that you're not capable of whatever, but it takes no effort at all. If your feet are anywhere above that ridge on the bottom of those pedals, you're probably using at least a little bit of brake.
Okay.
And if we lose 5% of our takeoff performance, gosh, I wish we had that 5% back.
Okay. So, brake set, flight control. Free and correct. Coming up to 1700. Some amps. And we are at mag check. Go 1 and 2. About a 25 drop. 2. And 1. And about a 50 drop there. 2. Carby coming on. And a good 100 drop on the carb heat. Back in, coming all the way back to idle. And we will idle. We'll go right back to 1,000. Alright. So, idle instruments are about as good as we can get them. Somewhere in that ballpark. And we're trimmed out good. Alrighty.
1-2 it is. You can head that way. Hodges, traffic Scott, K305 Bravo is back taxiing 1-2 Hodges. And we can do the same plan as last time, going back behind the cones.
What's that?
We'll do the same thing we did last time, taxiing back behind the cones. Using the full length.
Take as much as we can.
Yep.
So I'm back to looking at the Zeniths and the 801s for a build.
Those things?
Yeah. But the 801, the bigger one.
Okay.
4-seat.
Dad had one of those. Did he tell you that?
Yeah. I couldn't do something that small. I'd be worried about it. I don't know. I guess little things just kind of make me nervous.
I'm sure that the 4-seaters fly exactly the same as the 2-seat. Well, I mean, you know, generally the characteristics I'm sure are the same. It's a unique little machine. It's pretty short field capable to the point where you actually have to be a little bit cautious when you're flying it.
Yeah, that's what Mike Patey's brother said, Mark Patey, when I talked to him about it. He said it was...
It actually flies more like an ultralight than it does a Cessna. It's a cross between the two, but in my opinion, it's closer to an ultralight in that the inertia is so lacking. Yeah. You have to carry power. You don't land it like you land one of these.
Yeah.
If you pull the throttle back to idle, it slows down so fast you're going to drop it out of the sky and you're going to smash the landing gear. A lot of them have landing gear damage history. A lot of them, the landing gear legs get replaced because guys drop them in because they think it's going to fly like a Cessna 172, and it doesn't. Not even remotely close.
It's a lot mushier than...
Let me stop right here.
Alright, we're good there. Right about there. Good, full rich, alright.
And transponder and nav lights.
Transponder, altimeter, nav lights are on.
And 7 degrees of flat.
Yep. And we're ready to go.
Yes, sir, go right ahead. Hodges, traffic Scott, K305 Bravo is departing 1-2, right close traffic, Hodges. Nose down to get that speed.
Yep.
So we're losing control of the airplane because we're going 50 miles an hour. So we pitch the airplane down to pick up that speed immediately after takeoff, which is the same thing we do at Hinesville. So we rotate and we pick up speed inside a ground effect. Otherwise it's just wobbling around.
Yeah.
Going for the trees. Obstacles cleared. Pitching for 70. Flaps coming up. When you retract those flaps, the airplane is going to pick up speed, which means we can put the nose up a little bit higher than what it was and maintain the same 70 miles an hour. If you have the same attitude when you retract the flaps, we're going to be going faster than 70.
All right. We are coming right. My 90-degree mark.
Well, you got your field right there. So
okay.
That's where we're going to make our downwind turn.
Notch coming in. Harvey did that out of order. And coming right. Now I noticed when we were in the video the other day, we were talking about this tower over here. Yep. And you didn't clarify me when I said if that tower is at 45, we make our turn, or
we're making our base turn just inside of that tower.
Just inside of it, so we're...
That way you don't have to think about flying past it on final approach. Plus, it does happen to be at approximately, if we aim for that on the base leg or just inside of it, you're pretty much at that 45-degree angle. I'll just traffic Sky 05 Bravo's final 1-2. I'll just...
Is that in the runway?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Yeah, we're
must
going
be a
around.
Well, let's keep on rolling for now. We'll see what that is. I'm not sure.
It's a tractor.
Yeah, I don't know if he's mowing the runway or crossing the runway. I guess he's mowing the runway.
Yeah.
So he happens to be right where, yeah, we'll do go around. So full throttle, RP, and flaps. Usually if that happens, he's in a spot where you can still land, or he's in a spot where he can see you and he'll just pull off. But that was, he happened to be exactly where none of those things were available.
No runway available. You go round.
Alright, so let's pitch it up for 70. So we were a little bit fast on the beginning of the last pattern, so we'll work on that speed control here, because we want that 1,000 feet as soon as possible.
RP, first notch, and 80. Right. Winds are aloft, they're a little bit more than feeling down there in the thick. They're still down there.
I just dropped Sky 05 Bravo's turning final 1-2. I'll just... And we can keep doing what we're doing. Last notch flaps and bring that throttle back.
They got an aircraft coming in, they normally wait down there at the end?
He'll probably be going to the end, and if he sees us, he'll either stay down there or move off to the side.
impressive.
Yep, just keep that pull coming as we're floating down. There you go. Just drift over to the right side. And spin her around. I'm going to push that cart bead off while you're doing that. Just because we have some loose grass on the runway, we have a higher likelihood of sucking something into the carburetor. Hang it right back over to the right hand side here.
Hey, can you take it for just a second here?
I got it.
My headset's all wonky.
Okay.
My headset kept slipping off.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I hate that. If the headset's not in the right place, then nothing works. It's just enough of an annoyance that,
Well, I pulled it up once when we were up there in the air and just didn't quite set it right.
Okay, so on this takeoff,
Yeah.
pitch that nose down immediately after we come off the ground.
As soon as he comes up, pitch it down.
Yep, we want that 60 immediately. So we don't want to come back onto the ground. We don't want to touch back down, but we do want that speed.
All right, got it.
Everything else about the takeoff roll was fine. If I was going to really nitpick you, I would say push the throttle in a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm slow on it.
The longer it takes to put in full throttle, the longer our takeoff roll is going to be. That's not saying we just jam it in, but get her done. And the aircraft is configured for takeoff. The only thing that is wrong right now is my door being open. So as we come around the bend, I will rectify that. Okay. So we can just slingshot. Well, we're going to look for the tractor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Silly me. We'll check for obstructions on the runway, and if there aren't any, then we'll do our thing. So I'll delay my door for just a second, since we might be delayed for just a second. Down there? Or did he just? I think we're good. I think we're good.
I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, go ahead. He's all the way down there. We good. Because if we're still on the ground there, we got bigger problems than the tractor. Pitching forward immediately for 60. There we go. Which gives you great control of the aircraft.
Not really dropping the nose, it's just quick pulling it back, right?
It's just relaxing the back pressure that you just put in back out of it. Yeah. That's all.
All right. We're clear of the trees, so pushing down, getting 70, and
good. And then that back pressure comes back in, because if we hold the same attitude, we're going to be going faster than 70, and we want that 70. We got to get that altitude, so we're pulling back on that yoke.
Yeah.
So changing the flap setting changes the angle of attack, so then we have to reset the angle of attack with the yoke.
Yeah, I can't tell when I reach down there to grab the flaps if I'm pushing in. I'm trying not to. But
no, you're not, but the nose comes down on its own.
Yeah.
They're good for your turn.
Okay. Coming right.
So again, when you retract the flaps, you will have to pull on the yoke a little bit to maintain the same airspeed. Because retracting the flaps reduces the angle of attack. We have to get it back a little bit higher so we can keep that climb speed. That's something people usually don't just by default think of with the flaps. But when you lower and raise the flaps, you are changing the angle of attack of the wing. We just think of it like, oh, we're adding lift, or oh, we're adding drag, or oh, we're doing both. But, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. But really what you're doing is changing the angle of attack of the wing.
Well, I mean, technically you've got to, because you've changed your wing from a shape of like this to now it's like this, so that angle of attack is going to change.
Correct. I'll just try Scott 05 Bravo's midfield right downwind for 1-2. I'll just...
Boy, the sun playing hide and seek even makes this more of a challenge because your landscape kind of changes.
Yep.
Carby coming in. First notch is in. And we're pitching Brady. Tower and coming right. Second notch coming in. Good, no. Little puddle. Bit. And there's the last notch.
Oh, we're good.
I like how you say that just so nonchalantly.
All part of my charm. A little more right aileron. Let's move it over to the right side a little bit. And a little more nose down. We have a little bit too much nose high attitude. We're going to lose that speed if we were to maintain that. And we want that control. The airplane's wobbly because it's getting a little slow. Throttle's back to idle if it's not already. There we go. Start that flare. Good. Real good. Hold that back pressure in there. So the airplane got a little bit of a high rate of descent on final. Why? Because Mother Nature decided.
Yeah, bottom dropped out of it.
Yeah, you didn't do anything to cause that. Your reaction to it was correct. You actually had to start your flare a little bit sooner. Well, what I mean by that is you didn't start your flare at a higher altitude. You started it sooner based on our faster rate of descent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you reacted exactly how you should have reacted. The airplane was coming down faster. You pulled a little bit sooner. You maybe pulled a little bit more. Now you can taxi in the short grass since we've been given a swath right there.
Is that your dad mowing or?
No, I think that's Robert Hodges. And you can move it over to the right side now that we're out of the show grass.
Out of the rough.
Actually, I can't tell. That's Robert or not. I think it's Robert, but I don't know for sure. So takeoff was much better. We had much better control because we let that speed build while we were still down inside of ground effect.
I have to say, I like taking off here better than I liked over at the other place.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels, I don't know, it feels less intimidating.
Yeah, no, I get that. I learned how to fly off of a grass strip, so I guess I've always been partial to them. To me, it's just, I mean, I know big airports have their uses. I mean, there's something to be said about instrument approaches and lights, and it It doesn't matter if it's rained 6 inches in the last hour, you can still go take off on the concrete. But to me, this is aviation. You know, a grass strip and everything that comes with it, that's what the Wright brothers had in mind. This kind of stuff. This is fun. It's the challenge is fun, and it's just the atmosphere and everything about it. It's just more enjoyable to me.
Well, this is my plan in 4 years to have my own grass strip up there in Tennessee.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I keep telling the wife. You know, the requirements for the land is we have to have a place to put a strip in.
Yep.
I didn't hug that ditch enough.
We can keep on rolling. Just keep that power coming. Here we go. I'll just traffic Sky K305 Bravo is departing 12. I'll just... Pick up that speed, let that nose down, let that nose down. We're losing control because we're slower than 60. We did not lower the nose quite enough, and you're dancing way too much on those pedals. Yep. So that was not so good there.
No, that was
without speed, we ain't got shit. And that rudder was incredibly lacking. The ball was completely outside of the lines. Why were we flirting with the trees? Because we were exposing the entire right-hand side of the fuselage into slipstream. Not very aerodynamic. Whatever. We're here to practice.
I think I pulled up too soon and...
Nah, you just didn't push down soon enough. So back pressure, relaxation of back pressure. Speed is everything. Pulling up is not going to get you over those trees. Flying at 60 miles an hour with the ball between the lines is going to get you over the trees.
Yeah.
When you're taking off, you know, we don't talk a whole lot about takeoff. You know, for the most part, it's kind of like, but, you know, there's things you should be doing on takeoff with your eyeballs as well. Keep those eyeballs down the runway. Don't look right in front of the airplane. Keep your view looking all the way down the runway, and if you do that, you're going to have a much easier time keeping the airplane in the center of the runway with the ailerons, and you're going to have an easier time keeping the ball between the lines because you're naturally, instinctively going to be using that rudder appropriately. And the cool thing about a place like Hodges versus a place like Hinesville, Hodges keeps you honest. If you start drifting one side or the other, you're gonna fix it. You're gonna do something to fix it. Now, what you do on the controls? Yep, I was waiting for you to get them. What you do on the controls might be inappropriate, but boy, if you're going to do something, you're going to try to do something to keep the airplane in the center line of that runway. So on this next takeoff, if you're not already doing that, keep those eyeballs locked all the way down the runway, and boy, you're going to keep it right on the center the whole time, I promise. Makes a difference. So now you see why we retract those suckers as soon as we get over those trees. They are not going to help you get to 1,000 feet. They're going to hurt you. They help us jump over those trees, but after that, their usefulness is officially expired.
And first notch. And coming right.
Hodges traffic Sky 05 Bravo is right base 12 Hodges.
Second notch. And come right.
Okay, bring that throttle back to idle because we're a little high right now. Yep, last notch coming in. Right now we're looking good, just keeping that nose down. We have good attitude right now. We don't want to get any more nose up attitude or we'll start to bleed that speed down. We might have just a hair crosswind from the right as we're coming down here too.
Pushing me around.
Yep.
bottom falls out of it down there.
Yep. All right, let her come on back down. Put that back pressure in there as we come down.
Yeah, the bottom fell out of it.
Yes, it did.
I don't know what it is. I can actually feel the bottom falling out of it this, now.
Well, you have more visual cues, right?
Oh,
we're flying right beside stuff, so
yeah.
you just have that sense of what's happening. Couldn't get that car beat off. You don't have that when it's just wide open spaces.
Yeah, that's true.
So you don't perceive it as much. It's like driving 100 miles an hour on I-95 or driving 100 miles an hour down 204.
Yeah, big difference.
Which people do until they hit something. But you can certainly, you can see that, you can feel like, oh wow, this is intense. Yeah, it's because there's so much crap all around you. Yeah, go and move over a little bit more. It's a little bit soft. There's still actually a little bit of water laying right in that that little trail right there.
Well, you cut the grass, and I'm looking for center and trying to.
Yep. No, I like what you were doing, but I looked over there and I saw there is still a little bit of water actually right in the middle of that ditch. So. Yeah, around here in the summertime, cutting the grass is just about a full-time job.
Finally got case on the mower today.
Oh yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Between you, me, and the wall, I don't like the way they do cut the grass. They cut a little here, they a little there. It's like, just cut it all. I wish when they cut the runway, they just cut the whole thing, but they kind of piecemeal it, and they let it get too tall before they cut it, truthfully, most of the time. But it is what it is. We just have to deal with it.
Where's he at? The end?
Yeah, we're good. Okay, so you're not putting the rudder in and you're correcting with ailerons. Okay, you had the yoke turn 30 degrees to the right and we were on the ground. What's that doing?
Nothing.
Creating a shitload more drag, getting us closer to the trees. Right rudder, right rudder, right rudder. That ball's completely out of the lines. Let's not step backwards now.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on. That's what we're working on. Using the flight controls appropriately, because if we don't, we're flirting with the trees. And of course, I'm going to say it so it's on tape. Putting in that right aileron is not only incorrect, it makes things worse because of adverse yaw. You were creating a fourth left turning. Yay! 4 left turning tendencies. That's better than just having 3. Oh no, wait, it's not. See, now we've got some Mark Hansen sarcasm on the video. But in all seriousness, yes, not having those ailerons neutral is, in that case, creating another left turning tendency, which means you have to use even more right rudder to to get that ball centered. And no matter how you slice it, that equals more drag. Either you don't get the ball between the lines and we got the drag of the fuselage, or you do put the ball between the lines, but you're using a hell of a lot more rudder to do it. So no matter how you slice it, we're making a lot more drag, and we are in an environment where we are aiming for perfection. We are setting that bar at 10. And if we fall a little bit short of it, okay, let's not stack that deck against ourselves.
Throw that in the back seat. I think what was happening, just a theory mind you, is I was bumping into my knee board with my hand, and I was thinking that I was down and then I was moving my hand up. I don't know.
You know, the reason why I'll buy that is often the physical constraints of the cockpit do have an effect on what you do on the controls. And you got to keep in mind, these things were built in 1955 for people that were 5'6" and 170 pounds. So yeah, you're cramped over there. When you're moving that yoke around, you're inevitably hitting your left arm on the door or whatever, and your knee board can have an adverse effect on stuff too. I don't like knee boards for that reason, and that's exactly why I make students wear them, because you got to get used to it. Now, when you're doing nothing but takeoffs and landings, I'm okay with taking it off because of exactly that. It is an annoyance. But you do have to get used to it too when you're doing cross countries and that kind of stuff. Got to strap that chart to something. Or iPad to something. We are, but you know what? It's okay, because you know we've been getting that nasty chop. Let's see if we don't get that nasty chop this time. We just might not, but we're still not crazy high. And if we are a little bit high, if we don't dive bomb the runway and fly way too fast, it's still going to work out okay. And we did avoid that nasty chop, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible, Lance.
A little bit of right rudder as we're coming down. Straighten out that fuselage. Yep, so we were dancing the dance there.
Yeah.
You just roll past the tractor. Just keep it over on the right-hand side. We'll roll right past him. So you don't got to murder the brakes. We'll just go down and turn around behind him. Go ahead and turn that carburetor heat off.
That was ugly all the way around. There's no way you call that pretty. That's not even pretty after a bunch of beer.
That's actually Robbie, which is Robert's son. You've never met. You can keep on going.
Maybe I was expecting it, and therefore...
Yeah. I'll keep those ailerons neutral and use that rudder. That's it. Now relax that back pressure, push that nose down, get that speed. Hold that right pedal in there, don't let off of it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right down the middle. And look how much taller we are, dude. Look how much higher over those trees we are.
Yeah.
And all you did was the right thing. We were 100 feet taller above those trees, 100 feet more altitude. Man, I'll take it. Heck yeah, I want to be 100 feet higher over those trees.
Coming right. See, you can see the school. I can only see this white fence when we come up.
Yeah, no, it's way harder. No, it's much harder for you to see it over there.
Go out and practice some turns.
I was looking to see if the temperature had changed. It really hasn't changed very much.
Really, there's no transition between 2200 and 1500 over here. You're at 2200 for about 30 seconds.
If that.
That coming right. Grab this before we come around. Come around again.
If you aim a little more to the right, we go right through that keyhole. Instead of flying over those taller trees, come over to the right a little bit, put it right over there. So some right aileron as we're coming down. If we got good speed, we get that control. The airplane's not wobbling around. Good.
Oh, still over controlling. Come on. There we go, baby. Right there.
Good. Good recovery. Food for thought too. You did move the airplane a little bit further to the right there on final. We moved a little bit further from those trees, and I think we had a little bit less turbulence, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Maybe not a huge amount of difference, but a positive difference, I would say. What's hangar space out here running? I don't know if it's true for every spot. There might be different prices for the taxi-throughs versus Quonset hut spaces or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's $225. I want to show you something as we turn around. Let me take the controls for a second.
All right.
So when you come around here, these last couple, you've been putting a lot of power in. So keep the airplane a little bit slow, full right rudder, a little bit of right pedal, a little bit of power to bring the airplane around. Let the airplane get some steam going, let it get a little bit of speed, a little bit of brake, and then start easing off on the power as you come around. Look how low I've got the power right now. The airplane's coming right around. So you had so much power in that it was almost, you had two choices. You're either going to drag a wheel or skid the whole back end of the plane. So manage that power as you come around. We were kind of doing the same things down there. We were carrying a little too much power through those turns. So just keep managing that power, whether it's more or less, just keep managing it. We're good to go. Hodges Traffic Scott K305 Bravo is departing 1-2, Hodges. Don't reach for those flaps until you're comfortably above those trees. There we go. Bring that nose up. We're going over 80 miles an hour. Give me that altitude.
Right. First notch, second notch, third one in. Coming around. That's terrible, Lance. Oh, good, the tractor's in the way. I can go around. I will go ahead and go around. So carb heat going in.
No. Full throttle. What's the most important thing to get your ass away from the ground? That's how you got to think about it in those harsh terms. Throttle, then carb heat, then 1 notch of flaps. Because that's what we are doing when we're going around. Getting away from the ground. Getting the F away from the ground. We're going to think about it like that. That's how important it is to do that stuff in the correct order. Now we are nice and high, which is cool. That's good. But one day you're going to do a go around at 5 feet. And if you turn your carb heat off first, you're going to find yourself at 0 feet.
Okay.
But on the positive side of things, yeah, the earlier you decide to do a go around, the better it's going to be. Especially when you have trees to contend with.
Coming right. Again.
Get that second notch in, and then let's bring it on the final. We have a little bit of extra speed here. That's why we're zipping around there like that. So we're kind of losing that good airspeed control. 1 more notch of flaps. Don't put that power in now. We're going fast. So let's get the speed under control, and then we'll see if we need that power or not.
I think.
Chop it, it's made. You want to land on the runway or the hangars? Fix it.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna fix itself. Use them ailerons.
Like the winds get all iffy.
No. I ain't gonna let you get away with it on that, brother. That was 100% Lance. The wind had nothing to do with it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep. We gotta own up to that stuff sometimes. Now, easy on the throttle. Easy. Let the airplane go. No brakes. 0 brakes. Left pedal. Let it get some steam. A little bit of brake.
Yeah.
Bring that throttle back. Otherwise, you're gonna start dragging that butt end around. See, we turned around that time with 1,500 RPM instead of the 2,000 you used last time. So you got to be careful that you're not skidding the ass end of the plane around. Just like you got to be careful that you don't use too much brake and lock up that wheel. These are the things that you have to watch out for on grass versus concrete. On concrete, that stuff's not going to happen. It's just not. But on grass, you can slide the airplane, you can lock up the tires a heck of a lot easier. And it's not even that bad today. The grass is relatively dry. I mean, we got all that rain a couple days ago, but now it's mostly dried out. But man, you come out here on a day where we didn't necessarily get a lot of rain, but it's wet, you know, yeah, you'll be skidding the airplane all over the place if you don't be careful with the power management. But you know what? It's no different than the good habits we're reinforcing by taking off and landing on a small grass runway. All the things that we're doing there, those are the things that you should do anyway. It's just that a grass runway keeps you honest. All the same problems will be present on pavement. You just kind of get away with it a little bit more. Just like learning how to fly off of a 10,000-foot runway. You know, you're making the same mistakes there as you might make here, but up there, you get away with it. We'll go ahead and go back to the hangar now.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of video review on that.
I'll get your flaps all the way up. Since I didn't tell you we were done. No, but it's good. It's all good. I'm serious when I tell you that, you know, it's amazing. You'll be able to operate the aircraft in and out of this airport with hardly any hours in your logbook versus people with hundreds and sometimes thousands of hours that can't do that. They will not possess that same skill set that you have.
I'm just hoping all this sweating that this airport's causing me is conducive to weight loss. Rural run.
They always come out to get the corn that the deer missed, I guess.
Probably. Been doing pulling it straight ahead?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll have to turn it by hand no matter what, so yeah, it works.
Throttle 1000, avionics master off.